Alex Jones is forced to pay almost $1 billion to the families of the Sandy Hook victims. This is amazing. This is good. We love this. Okay? How did they fucking come to that point? Well, we're about to fucking find out. Let's start with the closing arguments for both for the plaintiffs and for the defense.
Thank you very much, Your Honor. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
I'm very happy to be able to have this opportunity to speak with you this morning. And I know that the families that you see here who have been here every day are very, very grateful to you for your attention and your concern throughout these weeks. I think we've seen just about every aspect of the human experience on display in this courtroom for the past several weeks. And if you're like me, as you've been listening to the testimony, there may be moments where you found yourself drifting to thinking about your own things, your own experience, what's important to you in your own life. And we're going to talk about all of that, but what I want to start with and just acknowledge is what we saw in this courtroom yesterday, which is that the lies that started on December 14, 2012 are continuing to this very day. In 2 months, it will be 10 years. 10 years since these families lost their loved ones. And even now, he's still doing it. Why don't we go ahead and play just a clip from what Mr. Jones said within hours of the shooting.
I'm running in a build-up, and I said, this is the attack. Look, people got to find the clips the last 2 months. I said, they are launching attacks. They're getting ready. I can see them warming up with Obama. They've got a bigger majority in the Congress now, in the Senate. They are going to come after our guns, look for mass shootings. And then magically it happens. They are coming. They are coming. They are coming.
2 years later, it's the same thing. And by the way, you've seen dozens of videos. I'm going to show you a chart of all the different times over the years Alex Jones was pushing this lie. You've seen dozens of them, but just let's go to 2 years later, January 13th, 2015.
So Sandy Hook is a synthetic, completely fake, with actors.
Synthetic, completely fake, with actors. Now you've heard, some of Mr. Jones's preferred phrases. Synthetic, fake as a $3 bill.
Last one.
Total hoax. He repeats it over and over, including last week on his show. Let's go to the September 29th, 2022.
It is synthetic as hell.
You saw that video yesterday. It's all made up. Now that I see how rigged this trial is, it's as synthetic as hell. You saw the video where he said, not only is the trial rigged, the jury's rigged. All of you. The judge is a tyrant. That's what he does. Why? Because he knows he needs to maintain his credibility with his audience because they're everything to him. And we are nothing to begin with. You heard this testimony. You had millions of listeners by the time you were 24, right? Yes. And you were the beginnings of a media empire, right? Yes. This is the early 2000s. Mr. Jones starting to build methodically that audience that would come to him for the message that he spread on Infowars.com, that message being that there's a conspiracy, a global plot out to get you. A global plot out to get you, to enslave you, to kill you, people in power out to get you. And it's such a convenient message for him to send because every day he's got something new to share with the people that are coming to him about how they know that this is true. And he starts to build Infowars.com, PrisonPlanet.com, Prison Planet TV, the centerpiece of his media operation, the Alex Jones Show. Infowars Store, in the early days it was InfowarsShop.com. And you remember Clint Watts, our expert, who told you that this guy was perfectly situated to take advantage of the way stuff spread on social media.
Yep.
So he has Facebook, all those Facebook accounts, Twitter, YouTube, millions of views, building and building and building this organization to spread this message. Remember, what's the message? This is Alex Jones's testimony. And the message that you convey to your audience and have conveyed for the last 20-some years is that there's a group of international media, financial, and political elites that are conspiring to establish a global tyrannical government to enslave and ultimately kill people. Let's play just a sampling of the way he conveys this message, including on the day of the shooting.
They are coming, they are coming, they are coming. They've already taken over healthcare, the premiums are doubling, they're bankrupting that. They're already shipped GM to China. They are going to gut this country, they're going to shut down the power plants themselves run by globalists. What does the new magazine say? You can get it by subscribing. You can get 12 issues. Great way. This man wants your guns. And I break down here, they're declaring war on the Second Amendment, period. They are declaring war on the Second Amendment, period. They are coming after our Second Amendment. It is happening. They want to kill America in 2030.
They know. You remember this testimony from Rod Dew?
As you sit here today, you have no recollection of having read the state's attorney's report of his investigation on the circumstances surrounding the city of shooting, correct?
I'm still here streaming, man.
Don't you think that that would have been a source of information that you would have wanted to consult if you were interested in the facts and circumstances surrounding the shooting?
Objection.
A few moments later. More moments later. A little longer than a few minutes later.
Answer a fucking question.
I don't know what I was thinking at the time.
Except that's not true. You know
Of
exactly.
course, Rob Dew is gonna get him into fucking trouble.
They were thinking dollar signs. Look at this. From 2012. Pending. He himself recognizes that the words are so obviously hurtful that they require no proof that they caused injury in order for them to be actionable. And what was this harm? This catastrophic damage that Alex Jones suffered. A tweet
Alex,
with 20 retweets and 37 likes. Oh, he gets it. He gets it. But he doesn't care. And this is just getting back to Clint Watts.
Wow.
I wanted to show you this testimony.
he sued over a fucking tweet with 20 fucking retweets. Petty. Petty.
I'm sure you remember it. But when you compare that to the 20 tweets and Alex Jones, give me a break. But you know, Alex Jones is the victim, isn't he? But here's how you know why it's so important, why this case is historic, why you have an opportunity to do something as representatives of this community. Because I had Alex Jones on the stand, and I said, you're going to do it again, aren't you? This is a few weeks ago, and look what he is doing. Look what he's preparing his audience for. What is he conditioning them to believe? Which families is he going to hit the barbed wire and be a precision guided munition on next? You think he takes any of this seriously? What do you think it means when he tells his audience that Judge Bellows is a tyrant? You think they know what that means? You think they get it?
I am so sick of the New World Order. I am so sick of this cult of psychopaths. I am so sick of their lies and their fraud. I don't believe anything they say. And I apologize for nothing I've ever done because I did it all from a place of purity, and I've been 98% accurate. You go to Yahoo, you go to Google, you go to Instagram, you go to Facebook, it's Alex Jones at the top, setting us dead kids, families for weeks on, never said their names, never even talked about them, all made up. And it's like, oh, my kid died, oh, and Alex Jones caused it, and it's all wow. You're like, oh my God, Jones, you're under such attack. We better not be like you. I'm under attack because I expose these people. I'm just gonna be honest, I totally enjoy it. And so. I mean, I've reached that point of real peace where I don't just have peace with this, I enjoy it now.
Still talking shit.
I really don't.
He's still talking shit after all of that. He's still talking shit. All right. Now this is what his defense had to say. Mind you, this is going to be much more interesting than the prosecution because the defense goes ham.
Please be seated. The record will reflect that the entire panel has returned.
It's still morning. Morning. In many decades and hundreds of trials of doing this, I've never been prouder to be a lawyer than I am right now. I'm here to defend Alex Jones. I'm here to defend free speech systems. In my opening statement, I began, and I'm going to read it because I wrote it then because I was worried I'd forget it. We live in times of deep political division in this country. One of the issues dividing us is guns, their possession, their use, and their control. The divides are deep, even dangerous. Don't let anyone tell you this trial is a means of addressing gun violence or political divisions. We're not here to make political statements, to reform the world, to take a stand against extreme speech. This trial is not a cultural moment. We are here because on another date and at another time, a court held Alex Jones and free speech systems liable for harming the plaintiffs. You are forbidden to speculate why that happened. Your only job here is to determine how much damage my clients caused each plaintiff, and then to assign a dollar value to suffering. The case comes down to money. How much money will each plaintiff get? We're asking you here to follow the law and nothing but the law. All of this to set up the Sandy Hook families. He put a target on their back and he monetized it. That's what you were told. I'm going to show you an exhibit. It takes about 19 minutes to play. I believe it's exhibit 45. Zach, please press play. Watch this video.
As all of our hardcore listeners know from their own research, this country is in the middle of a civil war against globalist forces that are openly trying to stop the populist Americana new renaissance that we are attempting to bring back into play. Free market, true open societies versus globalism and corporate.
Okay, I love this. This is literally Alex Jones fighting for his life the best way he can, right? He's playing a clip that's 19 minutes long. Let's see if it gets him off the hook. It doesn't. He has to pay $1 billion. But let's see.
Corporate crony capitalist tyranny. We have an overload of news and information, obviously, today. We have Democratic Party throws a new giant temper tantrum because their Russia investigation has come up 100% high and dry. They've now thrown a new giant temper tantrum to restart another fake investigation, this time a civil one, so they can continue to say there's an investigation. Oh, we're deposing this person, we're deposing that person. And the lawsuit is gigantic, making all sorts of claims of the criminal activities that went on with Trump, WikiLeaks, and the Russians with zero, not one scintilla of evidence. Amazing. The Russians did not hack the DNC. It was leaked out of the DNC. We know from the files released that have digital coding on them that they were downloaded at 6 times the speed of the fastest internet connection 2 years ago. You understand, folks? 6 times the fastest connection. It's still 4 times the fastest connection today. It was downloaded at point blank range, just like Snowden did in Hawaii inside the big NSA center. It was downloaded at point blank range. And now that's back in the news again today. Unbelievable disinformation. But notice, what did Trump say during the campaign? He said, I don't know the Russians or who else. Might be some fat guy in his mother's basement, for all I know. You can ping off anywhere in the world. There's no evidence it's Russia. But he said, but if it is the Russians, release it. It's about what's in the WikiLeaks.
Why are we playing this fucking thing? Why?
Not about changing the subject as they always do.
You're changing. This has nothing to do
Into
with Sandy
who
Hook.
released it. What about all the crimes?
Why are we
And I heard Alan
watching
Schroyer did a great
episode
job
of
yesterday during the broadcast when I took time off to do some family. Say that today on the War Room, he's going to spend an hour, maybe spend the whole 3 hours, getting into the WikiLeaks and the top 100 WikiLeaks, and then you calling in and mentioning what WikiLeaks you think are most important. Just like they hammer all this fake Russiagate stuff constantly, we should be hammering the bona fides, the bones, the guts, the reality of what is in those things and all the other leaks that they don't even deny are real.
Bullshit.
Sensational crimes.
What are we talking about, Alex?
Sensational pay to play from the Russians and the communist Chinese and all these big foundations. Billions of dollars going to Hillary. Hundreds of millions from the Russians.
Hillary's in this now.
Yeah, they
the
give money to
Chinese.
Secretary of State
What?
to then give them a third of our uranium. They did it. Absolutely. Do the Russians want to get our secrets and get our industry? Absolutely. That's what we do to them. The point is that the traitor's Hillary.
What?
So,
What?
you got the Democratic Party files monster temper tantrum because, as I said last week and this week, the wheels came off 6 months ago with the fake Russia investigation, but now it's really come up dry. It's moved on to the Arab Emirates, and it's moved on to all these other places.
God
So we're going to
damn
be
it,
getting into some of that
You didn't want to
as well. This really shows how desperate they are. You know, Matt's a great producer in there, and he's really hot and mad over this
What
Megyn
in
Kelly
the
thing.
fuck are we
Another
talking
thing
about right now, Alex?
Today, Alex?
What are we talking about? Matt is the good producer now? Norm, you couldn't have cut this shit down, Norm? Why is this shit a part of your closing arguments? You're fighting for your fucking life. Yeah, bro, there's a reason why you gotta pay $1 billion. Jesus Christ. Just say something about Sandy Hook. Just one thing about Sandy Hook. And there's nothing.
You got to. It's one of the top stories in the country. Every channel is lying about you. Local, radio, TV, everything. You've got to cover it because it's bigger than you, Alex. And you know, he's right. He said this is a chilling effect. This is so bad. He's like shaking with anger. I've never seen Matt angry like this. There's like 20 minutes of news clips attacking me. I can't get to it. It's just all lies, folks. But I'm going to try to go to some of it. But here's the bottom line. The media brings up Pizzagate and then misrepresents what I've said to beat me over the head and drag me to the mud. And then say that I need to be banned off the air. They bring up Sandy Hook. and say that I say nobody died when I never said that. I played devil's advocate. They took it out of context. Megyn Kelly plays clips that are about Hillary being responsible for thousands of dead children in the Middle East. She edits that and then plays it when she was at Fox News saying that I was saying Hillary was killing kids in a basement. So the defamation is that they continue to bring up these cases, never letting me drop it. I don't think anything was going on at that pizza place. We investigated it. We walked it back. We've clarified. I'm done talking about it. In fact, just take it off the screen. Because it overshadows all the real stuff going on that I've got stacks of in mainstream news here. And then you've got Sandy Hook, where we talk about the police stand down. We talk about the men in the woods with guns that were on the news, on helicopter shots. We said there's anomalies here. And then some of the people thinking it was a total hoax began to think I was covering it up. And I went, wait a minute, I'm not covering anything up. And I'm done with this tar baby about a year into it. That's 4 years ago. And I constantly say, mass shootings really happened. The government stand down at Sandy Hook. They stand down in Florida. They try to take me off the air, try to take me off YouTube, saying I said nobody died in Florida. You know I didn't do that, and they're liars. So then they get 3 of the parents of the poor little children that died when another Prozac head with a gun went and killed them and got the gun illegally. And the media exacerbates it. They bring it up and they say Alex Jones is attacking these families when it's the media dragging this out every week of every month for the last 5 years, saying this. The media never covered me in Sandy Hook at first. But they saw when I said, I think people died there, because Paul Watson totally convinced me. I was just asking questions, and Paul got mad at me about this. And I've been on record for 4 years about that. I respect Paul. And so a lot of my listeners got mad at me saying, oh, you're covering it up. So they...
This is Anderson Cooper.
Saw that as weak.
Anderson Cooper interviewing yeah, I think this is one of the mothers in Sandy Hook.
This in the media because I'm a real journalist, and they know full well. So I don't get equal time on Anderson Cooper or on Megyn Kelly or any of these programs. Megyn Kelly called me in April of last year, early April. She said, I want to come to town. Well, you heard it. I secretly recorded it. And I said, listen, I'm not getting into Sandy Hook or Pizzagate. She goes, I'm not going to get into that. No. It's all about you and your custody battle and how interesting you are. You're such a man. I want to go out to dinner with you. And, man, you're really, all this other stuff.
I feel like that's really why he's mad. He's really mad because he thought Megyn Kelly was gonna give him some pussy, and he didn't. She did. This is really being brought up in court right now, Alex. This is really being brought up in court. Listen, you can hear. Listen to it.
She goes, I'm not going to get into that. No. It's all about you and your custody battle and how interesting you are. You're such a man. I want to go out to dinner with you and, man, you're really, all this other stuff. So I recorded the first part where she was saying how good looking I was and stuff in the car. I was driving to work.
Oh, he's really saying that Megyn Kelly. Megyn Kelly wanted to bang me, you guys. Megyn Kelly wanted to fuck me. Okay, come on.
Interesting you are. You're such a man. I want to go out to dinner with you and, man, you're really, all this other stuff. So I didn't record the first part where she was saying how good looking I was and stuff in the car.
Oh, you didn't record that
Saturday.
part.
I said, let me call you back in 5 minutes, because it was like, oh, you're just so manly. You're so, and I was like, you heard some of it. Once I got here, I recorded what was going on, because I didn't have a recording app on my phone. I have like the voice memo thing, but it doesn't record phone calls. So I had to get another company phone and then record it. And I knew it was a total setup. That I'm like, oh, really? Tell me about how it's 6 a.m. again, sweetheart? So you can read it. Alex Jones, Megyn Kelly, full interview leaked. You can go read that, listen to it, see it. So I'm saying I will not talk about Sandy Hook. Then she has the bold cojones to go on her TV show yesterday morning with some of the parents and say, isn't it horrible he keeps bringing it up? Isn't it horrible he's sending crazy people to attack you? I'm not covering it. I'm not bringing it up. I'm telling Megyn Kelly I don't want to talk about it. She's here a year ago. I'm telling Megyn Kelly I attacked you. I'm not
Look at Mark Bankston. Fat white Jesus in person, baby.
covering it. I'm not bringing it up. I'm telling Megyn Kelly I don't want to talk about it. She's here a year ago. In the 8 hours she interviews me to edit it together. And I keep saying, I think Sandy Hook happened. Well, why'd you say this? Why'd you say that? I said, well, I questioned some of it, what was going on early on because of anomalies and a stand down. Edits that together to reissue it and put it out. The woman is the consummate snake. She is in my view, a corrupt, evil, lying lawyer masquerading as a journalist who is a monster affront to the truth, who wants to create a chilling effect to shut down alternative information and news because her ratings are in the toilet, all the rest of MSM. Stop victimizing the people of Sandy Hook and the people of Pizzagate. Stop it. So Donald Trump's been in office less than a year and a half, and like Lazarus, America has crawled out of its tomb economically, culturally, spiritually in many respects. We've really turned the corner. Lazarus has a heartbeat. He looks like hell, smells bad, but he's on the mend. And the banshees, the vampires, are going into connection fits of intimidation, of bullying, of just going wild. And a lot of Americans are saying, I'm going to keep my head down and see who wins this. You're not Americans if you do that. America is America because we had guts. We stood up. The whole world, every major historian said, we were smart, hardworking, and meaner than hell, stubborn like a mule, didn't back down. That's what built it. That's why, on average, we've got all this wealth. It's because we're not easy to push around. Well, I see myself as a throwback then. But America was the vanguard, the cutting edge. We're not going back to American values. We are getting back to the future, back to the real agenda that was making us so successful. Coming up, Roger Stone is listed in the giant lawsuit from the Democratic Party. They already had Obama's law firm group that he founded 1 month before he left office to, quote, stop the Trump agenda. Remember that headline? In fact, type that in. It's from CNN. Obama founds legal group to stop Trump agenda. Didn't say Russia, to stop Trump. They developed the little breadcrumbs to put out the new fake suit, and the Democratic Party, with all its money, gets behind it to crush these individuals. You talk about Federal Elections Commission issue. They shouldn't be able to do that. Should the Republicans be able to fund all these people so they can defend themselves? Oh, no. The Democrats will say, no, no, no. We can use our money to sue you, the deep state, but you can't use any government money to stop us. Roger Stone's the next segment. But let's get back briefly to Megyn Kelly. I may just play a few minutes of this, though. It really is hard to watch. CNN.
Honest opinion? Yeah. Yeah, I think there's a good chance that that happens. I think there's a very good chance that happens. Should not be surprised. Because again, it's going to be more of a response against Biden, right? They were sort of setting Hillary up to fail, right? Even before they knew Trump was going to be the guy to take her down, they were setting Hillary up. Like, they had all of her dirt just out in the fucking waters. And, like, not defending Hillary, but she was about as corrupt as every other politician. I have no love for the Clintons. Bill put so many black people in prison for the rest of their life. It's ridiculous. The actual two-party system is the rich and the fucking poor, right? You have the middle class and the working class, and then you have the fucking upper class, and you have, like, the fucking millionaires, right? Like, the amount of divide between that is ridiculous. You look at somebody that's making $20,000 a year, right? You look at somebody that's making $50,000 a year, and they live two completely different lives, right? You look at somebody that's making $80,000 a year, somebody that's making $50,000 a year. Again, two completely different lives. And then you get up there and you have people making $200,000, $300,000 a year, and and I am not saying that there needs to be a redistribution of wealth, right? Like, I'm not saying that, like, if you fucking started your business from the bottom and you fucking got to be a fucking millionaire because your business took off or whatever. Like, you shouldn't, you should have your business taken away and you should have your money spent. No, I'm not saying if you're a fucking doctor and you've spent all these years working and you get paid the same as the motherfucker that takes out your trash. No, but what I'm saying is, like, the motherfucker that works for you and the motherfucker that, like, takes out your trash should also be able to live in a way that is still considered good, right? Like, you don't have to have the guy that, like, is one flat tire away from having $0 in his bank account. You know, you can have the guy that can actually take a fucking vacation, right? Because he has the ability to. His job doesn't fucking threaten him. Like, well, if you take 2 weeks off, we're going to have somebody come in and take your place. And they're not going to be here just for 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? Like, there just needs to be equal opportunity for everybody, right? And there's a lot of shit that's not, right? And it's like people want, like, you have people on the far left that are like open borders, and then you have people on the far right that are like closed borders. I'm like, there needs to be a faster immigration process, right? Like, if immigration took 2 weeks to process and get in, it wouldn't be an issue. The issue is you have motherfuckers waiting years to be either rejected or accepted into this fucking country. And in that time, you can fucking die. You can starve to death. You know what I'm saying? If it was fast, if it was like, okay, 2 weeks to come in, background check, criminal check, done, then, that's one thing. But you have dudes on the waiting list for years, okay? And it's not, like, there needs to be a lot of changes, and it's not something that's like, one really far right answer or one really far fucking left answer, but like, it seems as though that's what you have in terms of politicians, right? You have Trump, who's fucking pandering to the right, but he's also pandering to this idea of sticking it to, like, the government and to the man, when Trump is the very definition of being the man. Right? He fucking, thinks women are objects. He fucking is racist as hell. And maybe he's not racist to the point where he's like, I think black people aren't as smart as white people, no. He thinks black people aren't as smart as white people, but I don't think he thinks, oh, black people are a different fucking species or anything crazy like Nick Fuentes. But, like, I think that, like, Trump, like, he fucking referred to the one dude on the fucking Apprentice as the N-word. Fuck, who was he? God. Anyway, like, you have all fucked up options, and now you have fucking politicians coming in, like, pandering to that kind of shit, right? You have that fucking asshole in the wheelchair, and you have that one crazy fucking bitch. Oh, fuck. What is her fucking name, bruh? What's the crazy fucking right-wing bitch? Marjorie Taylor Greene. That's who the fuck I'm talking about. You have bitches like this, MTG, who are coming in and basically fucking... Like, these are the new type of politicians. They're not politicians anymore. They're motherfuckers that are just out here pandering to the fucking most extreme, like, parts of their party. Right? She's fucking insane. And she's a fucking congresswoman. But this is what you get. And the only reason why she exists is because of how fucking, is because of all the fucking support Trump got. Because of his craziness. She took that and she fucking basically doubled down.
And NBC, all of them are in the tank. They admit that.
All of that shit is happening because of Alex
They're doing
Jones.
everything they can to try to shut down liberals, conservatives, you name it. In fact, there's a...
Like, Trump, all of that shit is because of Alex Jones, and I don't say that lightly. Like, Alex Jones and his fucking disinformation pushed it to that point. You know what I mean?
big hubbub on the internet today that all of these mainline Democrats who are very, very popular but have their own shows, like Jimmy Dore and others, CNN is now pushing to have them blocked, their monetization taken, and to have that removed. Now, CNN admits a month ago they've been lobbying to have us removed, and then lying about what we've said to try to set the case for that. So they defame us, and they try to silence us so they can tell lies about us and no one can respond. Just like I got hundreds and hundreds of media requests saying, what is your statement? What is your response? On Monday. And I sent the media a video response, and still for days after days they say, oh, Jones didn't respond. Jones didn't respond. Jones didn't respond. Megyn Kelly at least said, oh, he did respond on his YouTube. Lady, I'd have got on an airplane and come up there and got in studio with you and the father of one of the victims. I'd have said, sir, I've been saying for years that I'm sure people died there. And I never said for sure nobody died. I said that I played devil's advocate and said I could see why some people don't believe the government because it's lied about babies and incubators. But it's been edited and then it's brought back up like I'm bringing it back up. I'd say, Megyn, you told me before you came here we weren't going to get into Sandy Hook. But then you got into it and then you say I'm a horrible person.
Like, he believes the shit that he's actually saying. But they've shown clips of him saying specifically that no one died. All the shit that he's saying he never said, he did say it. Right? And he only apologized after the fucking lawsuits.
Bringing it back up. You're the horrible person. Ladies and gentlemen, I am not going to be a statute in the law. They want the Alex Jones statute to preemptively ban people and preemptively ban questioning public events. They don't want you to question their narratives when they put out their narratives of chemical gas attacks, and 3 times it turns out to be the rebels. We're not sure this time. It's still up in the air. But they have the motive. And Senator Paul and all these other generals say that Assad doesn't have the motive, and the rebels have been caught staging stuff before, and they've been putting out fake videos of gas attacks and admitting it's fake. I mean, this is getting crazy. And what does it say in internal Google documents from a year ago? We want Jones shut down because he changed the narrative on Syria chemical attacks being staged. They don't want me here, so you don't have a voice, so we can talk about this. There's another article on Infowars.com. CNN associates Infowars with Pedo Channel in bid to shut down its competition. And hundreds of liberal channels that are popular, but that are independent and anti-war, they're being shut down. They're being blocked. And the left is so upset that people like Jimmy Dore has left the Young Turks, and he's more popular than them now, and that they want him off the air. That's what this is all about. And I've invited Jimmy Dore on the show. It doesn't matter, we disagree on 80% of stuff. We agree, and he points it out, that they're shutting down conservatives and liberals that are non-interventionists. CNN, and compares this to Nazis and pedophiles in the same newscast. I've got a lawsuit. I've got a real defamation suit. Because this stuff is causing damage with advertisers openly saying they're saying this so we lose advertisers. You understand what we're saying here? They say malice aforethought and to do harm. They compare us to pedophile sites, white supremacist sites, who, by the way, have a right to operate. I don't agree with it. They have a right. Pedophile sites don't. And then say we should be taken down. That's all in a CNN report last night. This group that force feeds itself to you at hotels and bars and restaurants and train stations and bus stations and airports that you just can't get away from. It's like syphilis or gonorrhea or herpes. It won't go away. And it's just always there like a cold sore coming up. CNN is raping this country, raping the First Amendment. And it's all part of this big deep state constellation attack that's going on. Let's play some of this. This is Megyn Kelly. Father of slain Sandy Hook first grader Alex Jones must come clean on his lies. So they accuse me of being a liar and calling them liars in the suit. It was filed here in Travis County on Monday. They say also that I must do a retraction. I refuse.
This is so fucking mind-numbing.
They sent the letter last Wednesday. It had a month for me to do an apology or retraction, but I can't apologize or retract something I didn't do. Then they instantly file it, say that I'm not apologizing, say that I'm saying nobody died, and then saying, why won't he go away? Why won't he stop saying and stop bullying us, Alex? Well, my audience knows what really happened. This is worldwide news from Australia to Taiwan to England. Sandy Hook father calls out Alex Jones on Megyn Kelly. It's amazing. Megyn Kelly, had like a vampire, has been on this story and bringing it up and misrepresenting what I've said to hurt me. And she brings the pain up to the families again. And I'm sure they're smart people, these families. You know, they don't want this pain to their family and the memory brought up. I'm not bringing it up. Except when they're in the news and the media is there saying I've said things I didn't say. So I'm going to ask the families to actually look at what I've said and to come on this show. But you notice I'm not invited on any of these shows. It's all got to be one-sided so that Megyn Kelly can lie to everybody. Roger Stone's coming up. I'm going to probably put on the end of this some of the clips.
Really,
but
fucking really.
It's just insane.
Better not be watching
a whole
any
special
fucking
report on
Roger
this
Stone.
Megyn Kelly thing. Because they're the ones bringing it up. They're the ones misrepresenting and then saying I am. It's total and complete fraud from the media.
We are here for a hearing in damages, and the law limits what I can and cannot argue. I'm not arguing that this is a political case. I showed you that exhibit so that you recognize some of the clips, snips you saw. You see them in context. And does that really sound like the kind of man who put a target on the family's back? Does it sound like somebody who sat up at night deciding I can monetize the family's grief?
Yes.
If it sounds that way to you, then you'll do what you think is appropriate. You will see.
And they did.
A series, and you have in this trial seen a series of videos, small segments of larger videos. They're like 1A, 1B, 1C, 1E. If you're in the jury room and you want to see the truth, the whole truth about Alex Jones, ask to view a couple of those videos. Zach, can you show us 1E?
So you know how Alex Jones is like, No, you know how they say the Bible? There's so much shit in the Bible that like you can pretty much pick something in there to support whatever point that you have, right? So the same can be said about Alex Jones's fucking whole plethora of content, right? The like anything he can fucking like all the shit that he says can be used to either condemn him or prove him innocent. But he says everything, right? Nothing that he says sticks, and it's all horseshit.
This is the attack. Look, people got to find the clips the last 2 months. I said they are launching attacks. They're getting ready. I can see them warming up with Obama. They've got a bigger majority in the Congress now, in the Senate. They are going to come after our guns, look for mass shootings. And then magically it happens. They are coming. They are coming. They are coming. They've already taken over healthcare. The premiums are doubling. They're bankrupting that. They're already shipped GM to China. They are going to gut this country. They're going to shut down the power plants. They're going to bankrupt us. They are re-educating us. Just like we were Ukrainians and they're Russians. They want us bankrupt. They want the counties and the cities bankrupted and federalized. The feds themselves run by globalists. What does the new magazine say? You can get it by subscribing. You can get 12 issues. Great way. This man wants your guns.
Take a look at one while you're deliberating and ask yourself whether that's the conduct of a person who put a target on the back of families he'd never met. He was reacting. He told you from the stand. Mr. Maddy asked him, "You care about your integrity more than anything, don't you?" "No," he said, and I'll do my best Alex impersonation. "I care about smacking the globalists." They ridicule that. That's their right. There's a larger context for the speech than the speech that has been presented to you here today, and it's in evidence. All you have to do is look at it.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, please listen to your verdict as it is read. Verdict. We, the jury, have reached our verdict as to damages in this case.
Here we
We
go.
award damages to each plaintiff and against Alex Jones and Free Speech Systems LLC as follows. To plaintiff Robbie Parker, A, defamation/slander damages past and future, $60 million. B, emotional distress damages past and future, $60 million.
120 million
Total
for your
fair, just, and
ass.
reasonable damages to plaintiff Robert Parker and against Alex Jones and Free Speech Systems at line A and line B, total $120 million, initialed by juror number 1. To plaintiff David Wheeler, A, defamation/slander damages past and future, $25 million. B, emotional distress damages past and future, $30 million. Total fair, just, and reasonable damages to plaintiff David Wheeler and against Alex Jones and Free Speech Systems at line A and line B, $55 million, initialed by juror number 1. To plaintiff Francine Wheeler, A, defamation/slander damages past and future, $24 million. B, emotional distress damages past and future, $30 million.
Alex,
Total
bro.
damages to plaintiff Francine Wheeler and against Alex Jones and Free Speech Systems at line A and line B.
Alex, bro. I don't know. Do you got $1 billion?
To plaintiff Jacqueline
You better.
Barnett, A, defamation/slander damages past and future, $10 million. Sherlock and against Alex Jones and Free Speech Systems at line A and line B, $36 million, initialed by juror number 1. Number 2, award of attorney's fees and costs. Instructions, check yes or no. If you check yes, the judge will determine the amount due to the plaintiff for reasonable attorney's fees and costs, and will then award the plaintiffs that amount at a later date. If you check no, the judge will award $1 to the plaintiffs for their attorney's fees and costs. We, the jury, find that the standard charge for the assessment of attorney's fees and costs have been met. Yes, it's checked. Reasonable attorney's fees and costs to be awarded by the judge at a later date, initialed by juror number 1. And the last page.
So he has to pay the attorney's fees too.
This is order from CCP and recipient. Do not go to InfoWarsStore.com.
The most racist fucking ad that I've ever seen.
Emotional distress damages, past and future, $30 million. Yeah! Total fair, just, and reasonable damages to plaintiff David Wheeler and against Alex Jones and Free Speech Systems at line A and line B, $55 million. Yeah! Initials.
Never said their name, don't know who they are.
To plaintiff Francine Wheeler, A, defamation/slander damages, past and future, $24 million. Yeah! B, emotional distress damages, past and future, $30 million. Yeah! Total fair, just, and reasonable damages to plaintiff Francine Wheeler.
Bankruptcy court said we need about $500,000 the next year. We can for 2 years appeal this. We're not going anywhere. Nuclear World probably on the show before that, unfortunately. But keep us in attack formation. InfoWarsStore.com, SaveInfowars.com, promo code 1776. Woo! She said, you didn't add decimals here. I can't wait to actually love this. This is such a joke. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Well, we're awaiting the verdict where the jury was already told that I was guilty in Connecticut in the show trial. And I told people, despite the fact they were out 4 or 5 days, look for a giant $1 billion verdict. They asked for $8.25 billion just on one of their fake counts. No one even said Adam Lanza's name. It was all me. I killed the kids, all the rest of it. This is how desperate the establishment is. I am so honored to have this happening. So we're waiting while the judge sent the jury back out because they didn't put decibels on how many billion I'm supposed to give.
Jones and Free Speech Systems at line A and line B.
Mineral Fusion, get X3.
Reasonable damages to plaintiff William Aldenberg and against Alex Jones and Free Speech Systems at line A and line B, $90 million, initials by juror number 1.
Take years. There's caps on almost all of this. This is just completely, absolutely made up. And now the Democratic Party run, CNN bought it years ago, literally.
There's caps on punitive damages. There's no caps on compensatory damages, which is what this jury understood.
I was told that. Drudge Report is just up there celebrating this. They want to scare everybody away from freedom and scare us away from questioning Uvalde and what really happened there, or Parkland or any other event. And guess what? We're not scared and we're not going away. Literally, for hundreds of thousands of dollars, I can keep them in court for years. I can appeal this stuff. We can stand up against this travesty, against the billions of dollars they want. It's a joke. So please go to InfoWarsStore.com.
Wow.
And get Vitamin Mineral Fusion, get X3.
He really said that shit.
Billions of dollars years. I can literally, for hundreds of thousands of dollars, I can keep them in court for years. I can appeal this stuff. We can stand up against this travesty, against the billions of dollars they want. It's a joke. So please go to InfoWarsStore.com. You're going to stand up. Flood us with donations. Will. Schroyer is going to take over with the War Room. I'll be back with Steve Quayle, Robert Barnes, and so many other big guests.
Literally just you begging for fucking money, Alex. That's all it is. You piece of fucking shit. You know what? He's right, though. He can keep them in fucking court for fucking years, decades. They might not, some of them might not live to see the fucking money, seeing as how old they are. But, man, god damn it. It's the fucking world we live in, though.
Years, I can literally, for hundreds of thousands of dollars, I can keep them in court for years. I can appeal this stuff. We can stand up against this travesty.